every time talk shows run out of things to talk about, it's like they have to go to certain dip into the well for something that will always get the people all riled up. One of it
Hey,
used
what's
to
the
be
best pizza around?
it
Call us
used
at
to be
blah, 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 blah.
well, see, it used to be the Pete Rose issue, because a billion years ago when I did talk radio, if the phones weren't lighting up and everybody was dead and everybody was dull, what do? Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame. Bam! Phones go crazy and everybody gets
steroids.
It's steroids, same thing. Now it's the GOAT between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Every time there's nothing to talk about and you've exhausted everything and you want to light the phones up, you talk about the GOAT. I'm going to settle it once and for all, and this is it between the three of us right here, and we're never going to do this again. LeBron James talking about being the greatest of all time. He said it succinctly, said it well, was very diplomatic, and actually nailed the whole point.
I realize that the conversation is going to continue to happen no matter what, and it's great for the game.
Yeah,
it's great for the barbershops. It's great for the game. It's going to continue to happen. I don't know why. The one thing I don't understand is, like, you never hear, the greatest quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Always talked about. You never hear, like, who's the greatest quarterback? Brady or Montana.
Yeah.
You got Montana with 5, you got Brady with 6.
Yeah.
You used to hear the Peyton and Brady thing when they played, but Brady started to win a lot more and things of that nature. But you never hear, like, every single conversation.
Even baseball.
Single
it's baseball. Like Babe Ruth, and then people just move on.
Right. They just move on.
No more arguments.
Right.
Babe
No
Ruth's
more
the greatest
arguments.
baseball player.
Right. Exactly. So. And other sports, hockey, you hear Wayne Gretzky. People move on.
You haven't heard anything since.
You move on. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest. You move on. There's, things of that nature. But, the conversation is going to always be had, and it's great for debates because they want to compare errors. They want to compare players and who they've seen.
First of all, let's just say that LeBron is either full of shit or he's clueless, because to say that they never have the conversation about NFL quarterbacks is all wrong. It happens all
weekly.
The time.
And also, Brady won 7 rings, not 6. He forgot Tampa.
Well,
anyway,
exactly.
He's more than an athlete. He's wearing the shirt. He's more than an athlete.
But he's just doing it because he's on NBA TV and they're kowtowing to their audience there, which is the basketball fans. But he said it right. It's a nice conversation. It's good. Blah blah blah. It's good for the game. But it's still a bullshit conversation. Michael Jordan, maybe when he was asked about the whole GOAT thing, he again, Mr. Diplomatic.
We play in different eras. He's an unbelievable player. Yeah, he's one of the best players in the world. If not the best player in the world. I know it's a natural tendency to compare eras to eras, and it's going to continue to happen. I'm a fan of his. I love watching him play, but it's as you can see, our league is starting to expand on very talented players, and I think he's made his mark. He will continue to do so over a period of time. But when you start the comparisons, I think it is what it is. It's just a standard of measurement. And I take it with a grain of salt. He is a heck of a basketball player, without a doubt.
Greg, I'm going to start with you on this one. What Michael Jordan said in there has exactly always been my point about these stupid GOAT conversations. It's a different era. And that's the point. There's different players, different travel, different payment, different fans, different courts, different basketballs. You can say that they were the greatest for their era, but let's just stop the nonsense here. They're both great players, and this is just a useless conversation that just wastes time, which we're doing here for the last time. That's my end of all this.
It's sewing circle. Like you just said, everyone going forward is going to be the best to ever play. The game, the athlete gets better. It's like, look at automobiles. A 1970s Corvette, the one that comes out now is more modern, better, more efficient, more fuel efficient. They just get better and better. If Jordan played in this NBA with the exercise that they do, he wouldn't be as good as a muscular player. And Gretzky, playing against goalies wearing couch cushions made of leather, also would struggle in this day and age. It's just every athlete gets better, whether you want to debate in their time versus everyone else. That's where it gets into, was Gretzky the best, most dominant in his era? Sure. Do I think if you had a time machine with Doc Brown and put Wayne Gretzky in the starting lineup of the Oilers right now, he wouldn't survive like he did back then?
I hate to say this to some people, but if you put Wayne Gretzky on the ice at the same time as Gordie Howe would drive him into the boards and create jello out of Wayne Gretzky. Howe was that good a player. But again, different
that
types
was wrestling
of players.
with hockey sticks back then.
Correct, and that's the point. You said it, where you said basically the goalies now are playing with pillows. Back then they were playing with what? Hand warmers? I mean, Pete, it's entirely different here in Aries.
That weighed 15 pounds by the end of the game because the ice would soak into them.
Again, it's so difficult to compare eras here, but to me the big difference is it's real simple. I never heard Michael Jordan come on after the Bulls lost a series and say, I'm better than 45-50% of the players in this league.
Yep.
LeBron, one of the first things he said at that press conference after the Lakers got swept is, I'm still better than 50% of the players in this league. And maybe he might be right. That's the kind of thing that he says. It's on very almost Kyrie Irving-ish at times. And to me, it's very narcissistic. That's something that Jordan would never do. A lot of other players.
Pete, did you like it when Tatum did it a couple of days ago and said he was the one of the best humans at basketball in the world?
That bothered me too. It really did. It really did.
Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, hey, wait a minute.
No, there's nothing wrong.
I like it when a guy comes out. If a guy like Michael Jordan or a guy like LeBron James comes out and says to me, I'm the best player in basketball, hands down. You're damn right you are. I mean, I don't mind if somebody tells me how good they are. It's when the third string scrub player tells me that he or she is the best player in the game and you're not. Shut up and walk away. You're not. That's where it kind of becomes the ego trip. But I don't mind you telling me that.
Tatum, when he said that, though, Murph, I think he was ripping himself. Like, I got to step it up. I'm one of the best players in the world. And I just haven't. That was when, he hadn't taken a shot in the fourth quarter in the first three games. So it was a little bit different than after a series. It just to me, LeBron did. And, it's not a huge deal, but it rubbed me the wrong way. And I didn't think Michael Jordan would ever say something like that.
I pretty much hate everything LeBron does, so it doesn't matter what he says.
Wait a minute. Okay, see, but now, you just opened the door to the next side of all this. Why do people hate LeBron James? Because it's real. When there's people out there going, you just hate LeBron. Why? Why do you hate this guy?
Because he's not Michael Jordan's personality. That's why. It's unfair. It's unfair.
It is unfair.
But Michael Jordan had a charisma about him that LeBron doesn't. And even though LeBron does all these wonderful things in the community and charity, and which he does, and probably doesn't get
never been arrested, never beaten his wife, never beaten his kid, never beaten a dog.
But some guys, Ed, it's like it's unentertaining. Some guys are just more charismatic than others, have that quality about them. Michael Jordan has it; he doesn't.
I just think it's fair that people but can we all just agree though that there are people who just hate LeBron James because he's LeBron James?
Can I put my flag into the fact of where I'm from? And that's how I grew up. Was he's on the Lakers. He was on the Cavs, which is a rival of the Celtics. I don't like him. I don't like Lambeer. I grew up not liking anyone who played for the Canadians. I don't like anyone on the Jets.
Because they played against your team and they beat your team.
Yes, pretty much. And that's I miss the old days of nobody talking at first base because he's on the Yankees. Not, hey, how's your weekend? How's your uncle doing? I miss the days when the teams hated each other.
I think if you hate somebody because they beat up on your team or they dropped the championship out of you, ruined your child, whatever, that's fair. But to say that, the guy's a shit player, he's not the best of all time, he can't hit free throws, he can't do this. Shut up. The guy is an amazing talent that we'll never see again.
It's almost a respect and hate. Like, I hate you because of I'm supposed to hate you. I like Magic Johnson now, but if I was old enough in my 20s and the 80s, I'm sure I would hate him too.
But Murph, hating and then you had the respect for them like we all did. Everything you said, I agree with. I had respect, except for the Jets. I had respect for all those teams you were talking about. And even when the Bruins finally beat Montreal with Reggie Lemlin back, and then really had their number for like 5 out of 6 playoff series after that, to tie the. But I agree with you. But I still respected all those teams. Guy Lafleur to me is one of the greatest hockey players of all time. Probably the only Montreal Canadian I ever really was fascinated with as a fan because I used to love to watch him skate, just skating. But I agree with you. The Yankees, we hated it, but I respected all those guys on the team. You had to. I mean, you hated them, but you respected them.
It's a fun hate. I know those words don't go together well, but
okay, it's good.
It's old school. I don't like you. It's like town rivalries. You don't like the town that you play every day at Thanksgiving, every year at Thanksgiving.
So let's bury this once and for all on this show. The greatest of all time. Let's stop. There is no such
agree.
thing because the
Oh,
eras
yeah.
are different, the players are different, the medicine is different, the
Yep.
training is different, the travel is different, the food is different, everything is different. There is no such thing as a greatest of all time, except, wait a minute, I can hear in the back of my head, Babe Ruth. You know,
Well,
And
only because
here's the
people
thing.
like this.
At least in sports, you have
Tough argument.
numbers that it's in sports you can pull up numbers and people can say it's stats. They try to do it in my profession with
No.
comedians. And
No.
you're trying to tell me how impossible that is. How do you judge who was the best comedian of all
Okay,
time?
well, wait a minute.
Who's
In what
on
era?
first?
In what?
Who's on first?
In your opinion, Greg, who's the greatest comic of all time? To you, just to you personally.
I wouldn't even pick one. It's all first of all, it's all a matter of personal liking. We just hope you laugh, and if somebody likes a certain style, they like a certain style, and it's but it's done. People try to go, ooh, Eddie Murphy, greatest of all time, Richard Pryor, greatest of all time. It can't be quantified. It cannot.
No,
be
and now it's guys like you, and of course we grew up with Leonard Clark and Steve Sweeney, Stephen Wright, some unbelievable comics in New England. I love all of them. They all have unique, different styles. Now, I mean, I love Sebastian Maniscalco. I like Jim Gaffigan. I like what's her name, Laura. What's her name from? Oh Christ! From
No, Christ
Missouri.
is not a comic.
What's her name? What's her name?
Shelley Winters.
No. You know what? Why am I having a brain cramp? What? She's got a lot of specials on. She's from
Ladies and
Missouri.
gentlemen, watch closely as Pete Shepard suffers a stroke on live television.
It'll come to me in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, it's right. I mean, how do you compare Abbott and Costello, who's on first, to today? You can't. It's still one of the classic routines of all time. I think it's, there are a lot of older, older meaning 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. They set the stage for, like music, same thing.
Same thing.
Oh, don't get into music. We'll be here all day.